Good morning. We don't have a rollback. I did not come back to the model table and work on our little part last night or yesterday afternoon. But the only thing I did do yesterday that is sort of model related is I went through the Yamato manual and I did a little bit on that. I'll show it to you. It was just so you might call it, I wouldn't really call it a rant, an observation. Anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. Now, we did have an interesting sunrise this morning in a way. It was kind of plain, but at least we got to see the sun this morning. When it actually broke through over the berm. And I started it out in time lapse, and then at the very end, I switched from fast to slow. In other words, slow motion, and you'll see why when we get there. I thought it was kind of nice. Okay, I'll give you a hint. Does anybody know what kind of bird that was? I think it might have been a raven. It was a huge bird. And anyway, enough about that. Let's just sort of kind of roll back to what I did yesterday regarding the Yamato. And then we'll get going on our photo etch here and see if we can get some more little parts on our part.
Okay, I haven't talked about the Yamato for 2 days? I'm wondering, what is there that is so intimidating about this? Is it, got more complicated parts? Well, I've been going through the manual here, and I don't think that there's anything that is any different or any more complicated than what I've already done with the Bismarck, the Hood, and now the Rodney. It's just that there's more of it. For instance, the paint and marking guide here. There's two places where there's a call out for the colors, and I don't see the XF56. So I guess I'm stuck with that. Okay, sort of a private joke, right? Anyway, we keep on going here, and okay, the aircraft. Where were we? Okay, the little boats in number 1. That's what it wants us to do first here. And there's nothing any different really than what I did before, although I am noticing over here on the left-hand side, there is little railings that have to be, little photo etch railings that have to go on. That could easily be bent. That's a little bit more fragile, but I don't think I've had to do anything worse than that, or, already. The aircraft, that looks about the same as the aircraft on the Bismarck. Yeah, it doesn't look any harder. Where are we? We'll scroll down here. Okay, I was talking about this here, that I didn't know what it was, but I think that once I actually had it in my hand and was to lay it down on the deck, it would make a lot of sense, okay? I'll just keep going here. All right, make holes. I know I talked about that before. Yeah, that's a little bit intimidating because there are so many of them, and you don't know what size to make them. No, it's not that we couldn't figure it out. Yeah, we should be able to figure it all out. So, like I say, I know that the price is intimidating. Now, mind you, I haven't heard from the hobby store yet, so it could be it's not going to be as bad as I think. Anyway, yeah. Okay, now here we are on the working on the stern, and it's got this deck that comes off the sides. Makes the ship look a lot wider at the stern anyway than it really is. And these pieces here are not photo etched, they're plastic. So that's kind of you might say, a bonus. Now I've worked myself down to almost the end of the manual. I think this is the second last page. And here you can see where we have to make part of the crane. And it is done much the same way as the catapult was on the Rodney. Just fold it over and you have the four sides. And then you just would have to solder along the one seam. You know, that wouldn't be too hard. And it looks like step number 117 is the very last step. And what we do is we drop that crane down into this hole right here. And we're done, right? Well, not really. Then we've got the rigging to do. But it doesn't say anything about rigging. Now, I think a person could sort of go from photographs or... Well, there weren't that many photographs of this ship, were there? So you just sort of have to, wing it, play it by ear. Where do you think there would be rigging? Some of it would be obvious. Maybe there'd be something from here to here. Anyway, we'd figure something out if we ever got that far. I'm guessing it would probably take me about 2 years to do this ship, if I take it on. And we'll see how it goes. I may not. We'll just see how I feel at the time. I'm going to wait till I hear back from Eliminator.
Now, one of the viewers in a comment was mentioning that he thought that I probably could have used Andy's bender here to bend this part. And if I had have, I'm realizing now that in all likelihood I would not have broken the joint. It probably just flexed too much. And I was wondering about that too, but looking at it now, I'm trying to envision what this piece looked like. Okay, this part here was folded out like this. And let's say we wanted to bend just part of it. And if we were to lay it on Andy's bender underneath there, yeah, we probably could get this triangular shape underneath there, But then how do I flip the whole thing up without bending this part here? It just almost works, but not quite. Yes, you can get parts under there, but that you can't bend them because like I say, you'll end up bending the parts that are sticking out here. However, I was wondering, and I should have gone ahead with my train of thought here. Do you remember before Andy sent us the bender, I made this up out of just an ordinary hinge? What we could have done is we could have taken this part, laid it in the appropriately underneath the edge here. Let's just use this extra piece of photo etch. This is the cross members for the second airplane, which we never did. Now let's just, for the fun of it, pretend that we want to bend right here at this. Where's my pointer again? Okay, let's say we want to bend right at this line right here, this very fine line. Well, I could have laid this on here and got it just right and held it down, okay, and then come in from the other side with my razor blade and bent it up. You know what I'm getting at? That's what I should have done. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, right? Anyway, yeah, I'll have to remember next time, use this. It's not as good as the bender, but it because you have to constantly hold it down, but it's better than what we were doing yesterday, that's for sure. All right, looking at our next step in this step, we have to make up this part right here. And it appears to me that it is all glued, these three pieces are fastened together before the pieces drop down right on here. And we need a 16, a 13, and 18. Oh, sure. Won't drop it out. It won't drop off when you want it to, and drops off when you don't want it to. Anyway, let's just sort of recompose here. I'm probably going to have to use the helping hands to hold this stuff so that I can get the parts glued in the right place. Is there lines on the other side of this? I think there must be. Let's see if I can turn it over here. No, there isn't. Well, then how are you supposed to know exactly where to... Well, maybe I'm not going to be able to do it. I thought I'd be able to make this up. I thought there would have been some sort of, markings on this piece here. But there isn't. So that means that, okay, pick this up. It has to be glued on first. Okay, sometimes it's impossible to do things on camera. Okay, let's try this again now. Now, clearly, this is not going to fit down into that slot. I'm wondering if maybe I should have this part slightly tilted back so that gravity can be our friend here. There's something I can put underneath there. Like that. Okay. Yeah, something like that. Now, the only place the glue is actually going to attach, like it's definitely not going to, I would have thought that if they had been smart, that when they made this part right here, that we just drop down. If they had made a little notch right here, and a little notch along here so that it would fit down, then it would have dropped into the, into the slot in the plastic. Okay, this is still slightly leaning back at about a 20-degree angle. And my plan here, if I can hold it steady, so I just want to put a little bit of, just let it wick its way down. I don't want to accidentally knock this forward. Okay. Now, we put a drop right there. That's more than a drop, wasn't it? Okay. I'm pretty sure we've got it. Now, I don't know if I need to do this or not, but this is the Insta set. I'll just get just a little bit to sort of... Okay, that should start the curing. Okay, I don't think we need to do it anymore. Alright, now to position these other pieces that come out onto the arms here. Now, I don't know why it is that this piece here was not supposed to go flat along this area here, but according to this, it wasn't, and I may have not. I may have got this corner here just maybe 1/2 millimeter too much in this way to have it in line with this mark that they've got. Like I say, it would have been so nice if they had have made a little notch right here. No.
this piece here, I don't know if it's supposed to sit on top of or not. No, I don't think it's supposed to. Well, maybe it is supposed to sit on top. Yeah, if it fits on top, it does fit okay. All right, now this is going to be kind of hard. This is a case of maybe I should have it tilted at a 45-degree angle so that it just sort of falls right in there. Or should I maybe use some CA medium and just put a little bit of medium up here like this, and then it would sort of stick in that and it would give me a working time of about at least a minute. I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay, if I remember to insert the photos that I just took here, you'll see that I have increased the angle and I'm using the helping hands. And what I've got going on here is the CA thick. I got this the right way? Yeah. I'm trying to let go of it. Okay, now let's move it over just a little bit. Oh. Good thing I've got lots of time. What's happening here? Well, that's not exactly right. I'd like to have it sitting more on top of. But I'm afraid that if I try to push it up, I'm going to end up knocking it over. Okay, it's supposed to be on the edge. That's pretty close. You know, from even a lot closer than arm's length, you won't notice that it's not quite right. When I look at it in from this side down in here, it looks okay, and it looks okay from the other side. But when you look straight down, you can see that it's not exactly the way it should be. Okay, now just a touch of the curing agent here. Okay, about 2 minutes, maybe 3 has passed here now. And I think it's probably safe to try and move this over. There, like that. Now, I can put some just along in the back of this here where no one's going to see. I suppose I could possibly be using the thinner version of the RCA glue. Yeah, you can't see it, but it's building up like a little, almost like a weld. Okay. Now let's just leave that like that, and we'll put on some little drip of the curing agent here and just let it sort of wicket's way down. Oh my goodness, I just looked at the manual. I've glued the wrong one on. I should have glued this one on. I was looking at the wrong diagram. And yeah, you can see that this one would have fit a lot better. This little pointy part here would have come out right to the end here. Now, that means that I'm going to have to put this one on here and cut it off. That's all I can do, because I don't think I can break that off and make a switch without making a terrible mess. So let me think about this for a minute here. Boy, that was stupid. Well, just for the fun of it, let's see if I can get this off. Okay, now maybe I take one of Gabe's little swabs, or Tennessee Jim's mini Q-tips. Maybe I could clean some of that off. Although I see this piece that I'm holding on to, I can get rid of the CA glue with that other stuff that I've got that I can't think of the name of. On the other hand, maybe we could just stick this on now. Well, I suppose I could put it right there. Okay, if we could fasten this part up here first again, and then I can shove that other piece over later. Okay, here we go again. And it's a good thing we're going to be painting this thing. Now, don't knock it over. Just trying to shove it down in there. I guess it's probably pretty good. Now that curing agent does almost completely evaporate. Doesn't even seem to leave a residue. There we go. Now, okay, now this would be nice if this was up a little better. Maybe I could pull it down. Okay, let's let that cure. Now, why is it that I can never remember the word acetone? Now, is it supposed to sit on top of that arm like that? I think so. Okay. Once again, we can straighten this end around later. Let's get a bit of a weld going on there. Okay, probably about a minute or so has passed here. And I'm just wondering if maybe I can't push this down. I just looked at in the monitor and I could see that it looks like it has to go down a little bit now. Undecided as to... Maybe I should have left well enough alone. Let's just leave it alone. Okay, now we'll get some income coming in from the back here. I know you can't see it, but the CA is touching both those parts all the way along that inside groove. And am I getting it? There, I'm pretty sure I got it.
Well, it did not turn out as well as I'd hoped. But I guess you might say it did turn out. Okay, I'm going to just go ahead and do the other side the same way. The only difference is I'm going to be trying to get the correct part on first. Yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. All being well, we'll be seeing you tomorrow.